Live from the Eminent Theater for the Performing Arts in the village of Mamaroneck, it's the LMC-TV Annual Award Show and Community Television Festival. This evening's festivities will include the presentation of the Joseph P. Fraioli Award for Outstanding Volunteer of the Year, the Mary Ann Sullivan Award, and the People's Choice Award for Best of Festival. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of LMC-TV's Board of Directors, Sven Ome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our 8th annual awards show and community television festival. Two people actually offered that they would like to write my speech for tonight. And I'm not sure what that means. But I finally decided that I'm going to write my speech myself. So if I deviate from my speech, I don't have to make any excuses or apologies afterwards. Allow me some personal brief remarks. As most of you know, my home in the LMC-TV universe is the news show. It was about 8 years ago, just about at this time in May 1989, that the news show got underway. And there are a couple of people here that I would like to recognize because they were very helpful when I got started. I had never been involved in television before, and they encouraged me to become more and more involved, and I guess without them I would not be standing here today. So I'd like to mention Roger Norm, Bill Littauer, Jeff Montanaro, and also Rita Blockton and Sonny Goldberg, and Eileen Deutsch. And I remember that we went out on my first shoot on the streets where we tried to get interviews. So that was pretty exciting. The current news show team is also a great group of people, and while it's sometimes tough for me to get to the studio on time, it's always great to work with all of you. And they're scattered throughout the audience tonight. It's one of the elements of LMC-TV's ongoing success that when you get involved, you meet a lot of people, you become part of the community, and you can create something for the community. Our community television festival is almost like an annual meeting as we look back at the achievements during the past 12 months. The last couple of years have been tough ones for us here at LMC-TV, and I think the major achievement is that we are still here. For that, I would like to thank a truly dedicated staff, Joe Windisch, the executive director of LMC-TV, Lynne Crowley, the immediate past president, and now the access coordinator. It's just incredible the dedication that she brings to her new job. So I think she didn't really leave her old jobs to some extent. I mean, it's just incredible how much she does for the studio. I'd also like to mention Dan Albert, who's been running Studio 1 for about 3 years now. Tomorrow is his 3rd anniversary with us, and it just doesn't seem like it's just 3 years. It seems like he's been there a lot longer. Also, Ruel, Thorney, I'd like to mention. He's always fixing the equipment that is already beyond fixing, and we always appreciate that. But let me also refer to Debbie Slansky and Marco Ricci, and they play a major role in tonight's proceedings on getting everything together. Also, there are many part-timers who need to be recognized for their work throughout the year on town and village board meetings and other activities in the communities. And we are grateful to the volunteers who continue to produce shows while encountering failing equipment at the 2 studios. And we really appreciate the support from you, the people here at the Emlyn tonight, and the viewers out there in front of their television sets. But the major responsibility for keeping us alive really lies with the Board of Control. And let me refer to the people who were on the board for most of the previous years: Paul Ryan, Walter Rogers, and Kenneth Bialo. And I would also like to mention the treasurer, Carmine De Luca, who sends us our monthly check, and Joseph Fraioli, the administrator of the Board of Control until the fall of last year. And we'll hear a lot more about him later in the program. But I would like to mention that last year, we at LMC-TV expressed our gratitude to him during a reception at the Palmer Avenue studio. First, he was interviewed for about half an hour by Mike Witch, and then the interview was followed by a surprise party. And if you haven't seen it yet on LMC TV, you know that there's Request TV. Just dial 698-6808 and request that show or any other program which you would like to see. We've worked very closely with the Board of Control over the last couple of years as the Board of Control negotiated with TCI a new franchise agreement. And while the members of the Board of Control asked us tough questions, they were always very supportive, and so were the three communities, the three municipalities, the two villages, and the town. It was a great relief last fall when the agreement with TCI was finally concluded, and I would like to thank everybody who was involved in making it happen. Finally, I would like to introduce our LMC-TV Board of Directors, a great team to work with: Alexandra Leclerc, Jeannie Newmeister, Laurence Magro, Claudia Erla, Michael Charles, and Adam Glass. Two board members have left, and I would like to acknowledge the work they've done for LMC-TV. Mira Heemstra, who is with us tonight. I don't know exactly where she is. It's very difficult for me to see. She's over there, I think. And also Lynne Crowley, as I mentioned before, but she's now even more involved. All the people who worked very hard on tonight's program deserve a big thank you, and we also appreciate the support that we get from the Emlyn Theatre, the Mamaroneck Library, our advertisers in the Journal, the sponsors of our auction, the Renaissance Café, and everybody who made tonight happen. So where does LMC-TV go from here? What's our future? We will refurbish our existing facilities this summer. Rheineck will become part of the LMC-TV universe. We will have 24-hour programming. Last week, the LMC-TV board approved a plan to achieve all of this, and we hope that most of the elements of the plan will be implemented this fall. The many suggestions that we received from you throughout the last couple of months were very helpful in reaching the necessary decisions. In our area, we are blessed with a large number of individuals who are either in the media business or take a strong interest in community television. With your help, we'll soon be back where we were a couple of years ago, at the top of public access television in the country. Let me close by thanking you all for your continuing support of LMC-TV, your community connection, channels 14, 15, and 16. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the representatives of the three municipalities. For the village of Larchmont, Mayor Cheryl Louis. For the village of Mamaroneck, Mayor Joseph Lancer. And for the town of Mamaroneck, Deputy Town Supervisor Paul Ryan. Please come up to the stage.
I'd like to congratulate LMC-TV and wish them good luck in the upcoming years. I'd like to thank them in their efforts to enhance our community by giving us some great shows on all of those three great channels, even the Space Shuttle. I even watched, I don't know where we're looking down at, but I like the Space Shuttle. But I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, I think we have some very special volunteers here. I remember nights when I would wait at LMC-TV for an interview, and Roger Norum would run through the door. Sven or Jeff Montemiro would run through the door. They'd be putting their ties on, their clips on. They were coming from work, coming from the real world to the world where they donate their time. And thank God for them, we have a very well-informed community. So I hope that they stay on, and I hope that they still report the news and do all the shows that they've done over the past couple of years, because I think LMC-TV has become vital to the village of Mamaroneck, and we want you around for a long time. And good luck to you. Thank you.
In addition to thanking the volunteers that make LMC possible, I think tonight is a very special night and very important night because we're recognizing very unique volunteers that have negotiated the contract with TCI that will allow LMC-TV to get back on top and, as Sven said, to regain its national stature as a premier public access channel. Larchmont Mamaroneck LMC-TV is really unique in the kinds of programming that we have had and will have in the future to cover everything from a sports event to a school event to breaking news in the community. And we are, as Joe said, very, very lucky. So I offer my congratulations to everybody who is winning awards tonight. I particularly like to thank Ken Bialo, who is our Village of Larchmont representative to the Board of Cable Control, along with Paul Ryan, who'll speak next, and Warren Rogers, who served in that capacity. Judy O'Gorman's going to take that position next. But all the volunteers and all the people who've served are just terrific, and thank you very much.
It's a real pleasure being here tonight. I've been involved with LMC-TV for, I guess, 10 to 15 years, doing volunteer camera work, and then for the last 6 years on the town board and representing the town of Mamaroneck government on the Board of Control. I'm always amazed when I'm walking down the street that the number of people that stop me and say, gee, I saw such and such a show, or I saw you on TV, or I was watching the Fireman's Parade, whatever, the wide range of shows that the people do watch. And I'm also amazed and very proud of the volunteers and the staff of LMC-TV. It's become like a family to me. It was Joe Frioli and Joe Windish, everybody involved. It's as was said, you know, it's a real treasure that we have in the village, and especially with the volunteers. And this is really the community that puts community back in community television. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we would like to recognize the producers who have entered programs into the Community Television Festival. Alice Bloom, A Town and a Village 2. Jeanette Bogart, Jeanette's Best Breads. Leo Campo, Fat Joints. Eileen Deutsch, Mamaroneck Village Council for the Arts, 3rd Annual Talent Show. Jay Goldklang, A Dialogue on Healing. Jim McBride, On the Agenda. Sandy McBride, Poets and Authors. Bruce McNichols, It'll Get Better. Laurence Magro, A Conversation with the Consul General of France. Donald March, Time and Again. Alice Modell, 14 Live. Jeff Montanaro, LMC News. The Reverend Bill Shellady, A New Beginning. Debbie Slansky, Remembering Our Veterans. David Soto, Despertando a la Vida. Dale Wang, The Ways We Care. Michael Witch, Muhammad Ali Visits MHS. The programs entered into our Community Television Festival are just a portion of the many programs done at LMC-TV each year. We would like to thank everyone who produced or participated in any way with productions at LMC-TV in the past year. Though he could not be here tonight, LMC-TV's former operations manager, now executive director of the Petaluma, California Access, Brian Wilson, sent us a videotape message.
Hello, LMC-TV. I'm John Hargis, production coordinator for Petaluma Community Access in Petaluma, California. Welcome to the North Bay of San Francisco, where the summers are hot and the winters beat anything you have in New York. PCA is proud to say that our new media center is modeled after one of the finest in the country, Larchmont Mamaroneck Community TV. They say imitation is the highest form of flattery. If that's true, then consider yourself flattered. Let's see if you recognize anything. If LMC TV is your community connection, then PCA is building community through communication.
From the equipment we use
To the facilities we offer.
including the studio, training, and even some of the programming we use, we've incorporated the best of LMC TV.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Marco Ricci and Dan Albert for returning all of those forms to Brian before he left. They make my job so much easier.
Hi everyone. I'm so glad that we could be a part of your evening and celebration tonight, even if it's just on videotape. As you can see, I've tried to make good on the promise I made when I left. Not only have I carried Larchmont and Mamaroneck close to me in my heart, but I've tried to recreate LMC TV, at least in spirit, here on the West Coast. Throughout the Access community, everyone knows that Larchmont and Mamaroneck, with its many volunteers, active board, and strong leadership, it sets the standard the rest of us only hope to achieve. I'm proud to say that Petaluma Community Access is working hard to meet your standard. In less than 1 year, we've trained over 300 volunteers in studio and portable production. We've expanded our channel capacity from 1 to 3 channels before ever opening our doors. We launched our 2 new channels during our grand opening just last week. In the last 6 months, we've demonstrated a community value in excess of $800,000. PCA is located in Casa Grande High School, with live feeds from our City Council chamber and our community center. PCA serves 2 colleges, 3 high schools, 2 junior highs, and several elementary school districts. Within the year, we hope to see a student-produced daily news program. We're proud of what we achieved, but we're also proud to know that we're following in Larchmont and Mamaroneck's footsteps, creating a model access center.
Hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, for the PCA, your sister station across the nation. Congratulations! LMC-TV!
Here to introduce this evening's special guest, please welcome 2 friends of LMC-TV, Roger and Randy Norham.
Your introduction there, wasn't it?
Voice was.
Long before we had the written word, which guaranteed that traditions would be carried on, we had dance. It is dance that has helped our cultures preserve and maintain their identity.
Wayne Salento vaulted from his Rye Neck High School gymnastics class and landed feet first onto the stage as a dancer in his senior production of Little Abner. His career plans to be a pharmacist were scrapped. Wayne began a 4-year frenzy of college, summer stock, which culminated with a degree in dance.
His ability to run, turn, dart, and glide garnered Wayne numerous roles on Broadway, including the original cast of A Chorus Line and Bob Fosse's Dancin', for which he received a Tony nomination.
Wayne's special talent as a choreographer has been seen in commercials for Dr. Pepper, McDonald's, and Burger King, to name a few. He has also done the staging for the likes of Paula Abdul, Gloria Estefan, Billy Joel, and Liza Minnelli.
In 1993, Wayne won the coveted Tony Award for Best Choreography in the musical Tommy. Shortly thereafter, Wayne showed us all how to succeed in business without really trying. One more time, and he was honored with his 4th Tony nomination.
This year, Wayne has added the title of director to his credits and is currently staging and directing the glorious, glamorous, amorous musical Dream, which animates the songbook of Johnny Mercer. Before introducing you to the great Wayne Cilento, let's all just sit back for a few minutes and dream.
Someone who sets you back on your heels. Goody goody, so you met someone and now you know how it feels. Goody goody.
You're going to a fracas over his specsy side in the cool, cool, cool of the evening. Tell him I'll be there in the cool, cool, cool of the evening. Slick 'em in my head, it's an Italian thing. When the party's getting the glow on, and singing fills the air. If I ain't in the clink and there's something to drink, you can tell 'em I'll be there. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh man!
Ladies and gentlemen, the choreographer and the director of Dream, Wayne Cilento.
I'm sweating. You made me sweat. I'm very honored to be here. I really appreciate that. I guess I'm the infomercial for you guys. that's Dream. That's my latest project. It's like a dream to me. So it's the most incredible company I've ever worked with. As you can see, they all sing, they all dance, they all act. It's pretty incredible. If you like singing and dancing, that's the thing to go do, is to see Dream. I've lived in Mamaroneck for like around, maybe 40-something years now. And I've raised 3 sons here, and I'm very proud of them, Brian, Keith, and Doug, and they've been through the school system. And I just asked Randy if they showed football on, what is this, LMC-TV. You can tell how self-centered I am. I don't know much of anything, but she said yes. So I've been watching this. And I encourage this program, and I'm really happy I belong to this community because it keeps me in touch with real life, and that's important. And I thank you all for having me, and congratulations to everyone that's getting their awards tonight, and come see Dream. Thanks.
Here to present the award for Outstanding Volunteer of the Year, an award which bears his name, is the former administrator of the TV Board of Control, Joseph P. Fraioli.
Because I found it difficult getting up. But first, I do want to congratulate Ken Bialo. Mary Ann will take care of all the other goodies that go with it. And I want to thank all the volunteers that were involved with LMC-TV in the past who were helpful to me. The 3 volunteers we have before us tonight, Frank Light, Mary Ann Sullivan, and Mike Witch, they were originally involved with the original cable TV. I think it was in 1979 they started. It was in December 1980 that the original cable franchise agreement was signed. They've been very dedicated, very helpful to me, to the 3 communities, and it's been a pleasure for me to know them, have them help me, and to work with them. So Frank, Mary Ann, and Mike, would you please step up?
But something I don't know too is what did you say in the award? And here's what you should have said. To Frank Light, for his superior wisdom in choosing Mary Ann Sullivan and Michael Witch for his co-chairs. And in that spirit, I accept this award. Because with people like Mary Ann, Mike, Joe Fraioli, and of course Joe Windish, how do you run a meeting? You call the meeting to order, you let them solve all the problems, and then you adjourn the meeting. That's what I used to do. So I thank them very much. I wish I could be there to thank them in person, but since I can't, and since they know anyhow what they did, I thank them, and now you know it too. Thank you.
I was wondering where Frank was. I should have known better. Okay, the Mary Ann Sullivan. There are not enough words to express my gratitude, not only on my behalf, I think the gratitude of the 3 communities, because from the beginning, when they start stringing the wires, the calls came, the problems came. I was new to this. Mary Ann was involved with the cable TV franchise agreement. I guess wiring probably all was new to her. But she was very helpful, very instrumental. with the franchise agreement, with the amended agreement, and part of the committee, negotiating committee with the new franchise agreement. So, Mary Ann, it gives me great pleasure to present you with this award, which I felt rather put aside. I thought that it shouldn't be an award named after me, but I guess I didn't have any choice because they had it on cable and people would see it. So, Mary Ann, this to me is a great honor because, as I said, Mary Ann was very, very helpful to me and very, very much involved. Mary Ann, congratulations.
Needless to say, I'm really pleased about this, because when you sit in the back room and look at papers and legal stuff, you think, what am I doing this for? But we know what we do this for when we volunteer at LMC-TV or for the community. We do it because we love our community, and we want television to reflect this community and to exist forever, and you better preserve it, because if you don't ask for it, it won't be here. So I wanted to work on this crazy contract because I wanted to make sure it's here forever. And Frank, of course, goes to great extents not to be here. I mean, he has to go on a trip, but he ran this committee and always underestimates himself. But he was the kind of guy that could organize quickly and efficiently and always get to the bottom line quickly and put everything on one little piece of paper. Used to absolutely upset me. We'd be sitting with piles and he'd have it all on one simple piece of paper. A magical person to volunteer in a community is Frank Light. So he made it easy for Mike and myself, and just keep this jewel of community access going, because it's fantastic. When I come back and I see what happens every year, I'm absolutely amazed. You'll have new equipment. It's going to get better and better, get the more volunteers here and more producers. It is going to be fabulous. And what happened to me the other night is I happened to turn on this LMC-TV, and I was flipping, and I didn't even know I was here on this channel, and all of a sudden I thought, it's a poetry reading. This is a poet reading from his heart and from his words, and it was fresh, and it was clear, and it wasn't a sound bite, and it wasn't something overly produced, and we weren't distracted by 1,000 camera angles. It was the human heart there. And we've come a long way, baby, if we've come to that here on community television. So I'm very proud to receive this, and I thank you. You're all wonderful. Keep it going.
The next individual is Michael Witch. Mike has, as I said, been involved from the inception. I think he was very instrumental in helping LMC-TV get off the ground because of his background within the school system. And Mike will probably be around for a long time. I've made this comment before, you know, I always thought there would be problems because he wore two hats, but I think it benefited everybody. Benefited the school, benefited LMC-TV, and benefited the three communities. So Mike, gives me a great honor to present you with this award.
Thank you, Joseph.
This is the only award show where you get to talk as long as you want. So, Joe, hold the music, please. Not too long. Well, it's a thrill for me to get this, especially because it's got Joe Fraioli's name on it. I always tell people that this community has a couple good Joes in public access, one of them being Joe Fraioli, and the other, the mayor of Mamaroneck notwithstanding, Joe Windisch, who have a passion, just like the passion that Mary Ann and I and Frank and others in this community have had for years. I mean, I remember a meeting in St. Augustine's School in 1979 when we came face to face with a cable company that wanted to provide us service but no public access. And look where we've come from there. We have shown the cable industry that we are one community that really treasures our local communications. I'm also especially pleased about the role that the schools have played, especially my school district. We have a unique partnership which has benefited both the students and the community. And I also look around this room and I see my students from 1972 and 1997,
and I hope more to come. So this is a special award for me, and I thank you all.
I have one little task left to do, and these are proclamations from Senator Susie Oppenheimer. One for Frank Light, one for Mary Ann Sullivan, and one for Mike Witch. I'll just read one. They're basically all the same. I was given this as I walked in. You know, this is apropos because that I'm reading this for Susie. In 1981, when I became village manager, she was the mayor at that time. That was a long time ago. Okay, whereas on this beautiful day, May 1st, 1997, it is a privilege to pause and honor the accomplishments of Mary Ann Sullivan, Mike Witch, and Frank Light at the Lashmont Mamaroneck Community Television 8th Annual Awards Night and Community Television Festival. And whereas in the tradition of New York State to recognize the accomplishments of its finest citizens, and whereas, as we pause today to acknowledge the work of Mary Ann, Frank, and Mike, recipient of Joseph P. Frioli Volunteer Year Award, we know that their work and effort will live on in the hearts and minds of the members of our community. Whereas this paper symbol is small compared to the gratitude and appreciation that we feel for the work of Mary, Frank, and Mike, whereas as we continue to strive to meet the challenge of everyday life, we can be energized by continuing efforts of Mary Ann, Frank, and Mike, and whereas the selfless dedication of Mary Ann, Frank, and Light is truly an occasion of joy and celebration for all the people of the state of New York, and therefore be it proclaimed that Mary Ann Sullivan, Frank Light, and Mike Witch are worthy of the highest praise as a citizen of distinction, and therefore be it proclaimed that a copy of proclamation be transmitted to Mary Ann, Frank, and Mike on this most auspicious occasion. Senator Susie Oppenheimer, May 1st, 1997. Mary Ann. So that includes my end of the evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mamaroneck High School students performing a number from their recent production of Damn Yankees.
You know I got what it takes. Don't make me brag. I took the zing out of the king of Siam. I knocked the starch out of the sails of the Prince of Wales. It's no great art getting the heart of a man on a silver platter. A little brains, a little talent with an emphasis on the latter. I made mincemeat out of a sweet young farmer. emphasis on the former. Split up a home way up in Alaska, and wrecked the life of every wife. Down in Madagascar, ask me why. Weak metal die for me, strong men simply shatter. A little brains, a little talent, with an emphasis on the latter. You gotta know just what to do and how to do it. You gotta know what tea to brew and how to brew it. You see the sign that says George Washington once slept here. Well, though nobody spied him, guess who was beside him? Bring on that boy, he'll be a toy for Lola. Just one more case she can erase. Take that old buffola, what's my plan? Same as with any man, I'll use the standard pattern. Plus a little this and a little that with an emphasis on the
Ladies and gentlemen, to present the Mary Ann Sullivan Award, please welcome LMC-TV's Access Coordinator, Lynne Crowley.
Thank you very much. As you see, I for Ken Biala, but thank you, Joe, for having read that, and Ken, you can be sure that it commends you as well. Trustees or councilmen or women on our local municipal boards naturally put in long, long hours on the job serving their communities. And the pay is really token at best. Heck, in Larchmont, we're so cheap, we don't give them anything at all. And it's all too rare that a trustee gets the recognition he or she deserves for their behind-the-scenes achievements. It is for just such behind-the-scenes work that we're honoring Ken Biala tonight. For several years, in addition to his many other civic responsibilities, Ken has been a member of the Tri-Municipal TV Board of Control, and he's worked hard alongside Paul Ryan and Walter Rogers during these negotiations with TCI. And he has shown an exceptional talent, I must say, in wading through the technical differences between iNet and Internet, between coaxial and fiber optics. Over the past few years that I've known Ken, his understanding and support of LMC-TV has grown tremendously. But it is specifically for the work that he did negotiating the final agreement with the cable company that we applaud him. It can perhaps be said that he went above and beyond the call of duty, that he took it the last mile, or maybe it was the whole 9 yards, I'm not sure. He may even have burned the candle at both ends for all I know. And it's dangerous playing with fire. But Ken is fearless. In fact, it was at one of the meetings of the negotiating committee last year when there was talk of settling, Ken likened his instinct to that of an attack dog. Well, when the negotiations were over, I didn't see the guys who were on the other side of the table, but for their sakes, I hope they had their shots. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor on behalf of LMC-TV and the entire community to present the Mary Ann Sullivan Award to Ken Biala.
remarks to make. Sven did not write these. Just want you to know that in advance. I am honored and particularly grateful to receive an award named for my friend Mary Ann Sullivan, who has put so much effort and so many years into the success of LMC-TV. In many ways, the negotiations with TCI were a race on a long, twisting, uphill road. And little would have been accomplished without each group of runners struggling through its assigned leg of the race, and then exhausted, passing the baton on to the next group. The LMC-TV board and members of the public were the cheering spectators, encouraging the runners, but perhaps a little worried that they wouldn't finish, or they wouldn't finish in time to make a difference. Well, we did it, and I'm proud to have been able to help on my leg of the race. But we all owe a debt of gratitude to everyone who participated in the race, including the many, many, many who are not specifically recognized here tonight. The race obviously is not over. I've told Joe Windisch that now I think the difficult part comes, and that's figuring out how to spend the money and make the best of it, spending the money for the benefit of our communities and for the betterment of our access TV. I have every confidence that the choices will be well made, but they may not necessarily be easy. I cannot say enough about the people of LMC-TV. They are a terrific, dedicated group, and they do yeoman service in bringing a greater sense of community to our 3 municipalities. Above all, it is their spirit of volunteerism that makes LMC-TV go, ranging from the members of the board, the producers, the technical people, and Joe Windisch as well, who is really a volunteer mostly anyway. We have a strong tradition of volunteerism here. It's one of the bedrock qualities of our 3 communities. All the hoopla in Philadelphia notwithstanding, that's not news to us. And LMC-TV itself reflects this great value of volunteerism. And I know that it will grow with a renewed energy and sense of purpose to even greater heights under the new franchise arrangements. Thank you again.
Ladies and gentlemen, a message of thanks from former LMC-TV board president, Sonny Goldberg.
Good evening. I'm Sonny Goldberg, past president of LMC-TV and present chairman of the Emeritus Board. I'm here as a witness to the old adage that old presidents don't die or leave, they just use videotape. It is unfortunately, I cannot be with you this evening because I am in Kansas City, Missouri with my baby sister for her 40th birthday. I have never missed an LMC-TV event, and this is really very upsetting to me, but I felt like I wanted to come on tape to congratulate Ken, who in his willingness to persevere did not stop until he was able to get us a wonderful conclusion to our negotiations. Ken, along with Frank Light, Mary Ann Sullivan, and Mike Witch, who are all being honored tonight, were invaluable in this process. And it is an extraordinary devotion of their time and energy that we are recognizing here. It is a thankless job that these people performed. Kate, I want to say to you, for all the time you gave up being with Ken, we really appreciated it. I know it was just hours and hours of negotiating, and I really want to congratulate you, Ken, for your willingness to stick in there and finish this thing off. I'm not certain whether the willingness to get it concluded was to get me off your back when I was constantly asking, are you there yet, are you there yet, or you were just trying to get this thing finished for your own satisfaction. But whatever it was, I congratulate you, and you are well deserved of the award this evening, as well as Frank, Mary Ann, and Michael. I send my love and best wishes to you all, and I congratulate you from myself as well as our whole community. I don't know what we would have done without you. I think Mamaroneck and Larchmont are very lucky to have LMC-TV. It's the heart of what I think our beautiful community is all about. So thank you for helping us keep going and hanging in there, and congratulations to all the award winners. I'll see you soon, and now on with the show.
Here to perform a song from their recent production of Little Shop of Horrors, please welcome students from Rhinebeck High School.
Don't cry, Audrey. Audrey, please don't cry.
I know it's come over me. I guess I've just been a little under the weather lately.
It's Oren, isn't it? You've been down in the dumps ever since his mysterious disappearance. You miss him, don't you?
Miss him? I've never felt so relieved as when they told me he'd vanished. It was like a miracle. Not to mention all the money I'd save on Epsom salts and Ace bandages.
Well, then what's the matter?
I'd feel guilty, I guess. I mean, what if he met with foul play or some terrible accident of some kind that's partly my fault, you see? Because secretly, I wished it.
Audrey, you shouldn't waste one more minute worrying about that creep. There are a lot of guys who'd give anything to go out with you. Nice guys.
I deserve a nice guy, Seymour.
That's not true.
You know the half of it. I've been a terrible
Audrey,
life.
don't.
I deserved a creep like Oren Scavello, DDS. You know where I met him? In the gutter.
The gutter?
The gutter. It's a night spot. I used to work there on my nights off when we weren't making much money. I put on cheap and tasteless outfits, not nice ones like this. Low and nasty apparel, and
Audrey, that's all behind you now. You've nothing to be afraid of. You're a very nice person, and I always knew you were, underneath the makeup and the handcuffs. You know what I expected? A girl I admired. I still do. Lift up your head, wash off your mascara. Here, take my Kleenex, wipe that lipstick away. Show me your face, as clean as the morning. I know things were bad, but now they're okay. Suddenly Seymour is standing beside you. You don't need no makeup, don't have to pretend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide you sweet understanding. Seymour's your
nobody ever treated me kind. Daddy left early, Mama was poor. Having a man, and I'd follow him blindly. He'd snap his fingers at me, I'd stay sure. Suddenly Seymour is standing beside me. Don't give me others, don't condescend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide me with sweet understanding. Seymour's my
Tell me this feeling will last till forever. Tell me the bad times are clean washed away.
Please understand that it's so strange and frightening for losers like us bring and so hard to say. Suddenly Seymour,
Purified you.
Suddenly Seymour, show me I can.
Yes, you can learn how to be more.
Presenting the People's Choice Award, please welcome LMC-TV's Palmer Studio Coordinator, Dan Albert.
Keep this short. As you may know, tonight's award show is the culmination of our Community Television Festival, which has been going on since Monday. The festival is meant to showcase the variety and importance of programs produced at LMC over the last year. During the last 3 nights, viewers were asked to call in and vote for their favorite programs. I was a little concerned because Monday and Tuesday only a handful of people had called. Last night, however, the phone didn't stop ringing. As Ellen made television history just a mere remote click away, people were calling to tell me what public access show they thought should be honored here tonight. That says a lot to me about this community and about the role that LMC-TV plays here. Everyone, whether you're in the audience here tonight or watching at home on television, should realize that LMC-TV truly is your community connection, and that your continued involvement is necessary to keep that connection going. The winner of this year's People's Choice Award has definitely done her share to keep the connection going. So without further ado, by your votes, the People's Choice for Best of Festival for 1996-97 goes to Alice Bloom for A Town and a Village 2.
Speechless. Only kidding. Dan is so nice to do this, and Dan, of course, the most even-tempered person I have ever met, who takes all the pressure at LMC, all the phone calls and all the aggravation from temperamental producers, and never complains, and always does the camera shots you want and avoids the ones that you don't want. I'm not going to say a whole lot, but I do have to thank all the people who've come before, all the producers who allowed me to be their interviewer for so many years, to all the folks behind the scenes, to Joe Windish, who never says no to me, throughout the development of so many programs we've done. And A Town and Village 2 is just one of the many. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank all the people who come on my show, even after giving so much time to this community, to Cheryl, to Joe, to Elaine, to George, to Paul, to Susie, and the many other community leaders who've been here when I've asked them to give one more hour. I can't thank everybody, Debbie Slansky and her family, who are always there, directing, working the cameras, to everybody who helps us with so many other shows, our live election night coverage, our Fireman's Parade, to Roger Norham, my friend and co-host, in short, to all the folks behind the scenes who make us look as good as we do. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Executive Director of LMC-TV, Mr. Joe Windish.
By thanking the recipients of tonight's awards. Typically I'd be congratulating them, but this year is unique because this year's recipients are responsible for the future of LMC-TV. And the festival participants and all our volunteers, they must be thanked for enduring the most difficult production circumstances that can be imagined. Our staff has also been terrific throughout the hard times, including Marco and Debbie, who've stayed connected even after they've left. Dan Albert, 3 years. Dan, timing is everything. Think about that. Lynne, who jumped from the frying pan into the fire. And Ruel, thanks for keeping it all together. I have to thank also, of course, the Board of Control and the Board of Directors who worked very hard to keep this organization going, and they have shown me some great support. I think we're all pretty much aware by now that when the franchise negotiation process began, LMC-TV was one of the most respected access centers in the country. But the years of negotiation saw a precipitous decline that I personally found very painful. In the year that we're here to celebrate, the number of programs produced by LMC-TV fell by half what it once was. And our equipment created such obstacles that it took twice the time to do a show, and producers had to endure huge frustrations. We lost some, and viewers suffered too with programs that they couldn't hear or had very poor picture quality. So now, with those days soon behind us, the question I was left with as a principal advocate of that painful process is, was it worth it? I always said, LMC, we're not TV. We're a civic organization that uses television as a tool to build community. These past few years have proved me correct. It wasn't TV that pulled us through. TV suffered. TV nearly died. But a group of good people who cared deeply about their community worked on through all the hardships to keep this vital civic organization going. I really wish I could name all of them, but there are too many. And so I want you to know I have a deep, abiding respect for all of them. And I'm very fortunate to work here and fortunate to have had the opportunity to work with all of those people. I think you're all fortunate to live here. So though some of you think me a cockeyed optimist, I think I'm a realist, and I think it was really worth it to go through all of that. The agreement means that this summer we're going to rebuild both our studios, add a studio in Rye Neck, and by the fall have programming around the clock on all 3 channels. And it'll be programming that you'll be able to see and hear, better quality programming. So I have one more thing to say. I've concluded that LMC-TV never stopped being the best. We've always lived up to the original ideals of what public access television was meant to be. And that's something that many other access centers that produce lots more programming and that have higher production values have never achieved. The original idea of public access was that citizens could create a new form of journalism and produce non-commercial television rooted in traditional forms of oral communication, oral histories. Access was meant to be a return to the conception of television that held sway at its birth. Television as an educational instrument, television as a means to a more democratic culture, television as a tool for the ordinary citizen. That's why I chose public access television for my career, and that's why I'm very proud to stand here before you all tonight, because you see, LMC-TV has always, always lived up to those ideals, and I promise you, we always will. So now, let's look back at a year of community programming produced by you and your neighbors here in Larchmont and Mamaroneck. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, student performers. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Good night.
Thanks for coming to the LMC-TV Annual Award Show and Community Television Festival. We would like to once again offer congratulations to all of this year's award winners. We would also like to remind you that you can get involved with LMC-TV. It's as rewarding as it is fun and exciting. Call us at 698-6808 or 381-0131. That's 698-6808 or 381-0131. We'd love to hear from you. For everyone here at LMC-TV, I'm Roger Norm.